before I get started, I want to ask your permission to overwhelm you for about 20 minutes. All right? I'm going to start to record this. And I'm recording this I'm going to just start right now, using an app called Otter.ai. And what you're going to see is, as I talk, it is going to automatically and quickly translate nearly verbatim what I'm saying. The reason I'm doing this is not only to provide you guys a transcript of this conversation in case there's anything you like, but it's also to show you what tools like this can do. So I use Otter.ai in business and personal life all the time. Anybody out here have a business or job where they're in meetings once in a while, right? I hate taking meeting notes, so I just have Otter join all of my Zoom meetings. And so, for instance, the other day, I had a call with a guy that I met named Alex. And Alex, I may have to refresh this to get it to come in. Alex runs a private equity company, and he was talking to me about potentially bringing me in to help some of his businesses understand how to use AI to become more productive. If I ask Otter right now, as I am talking about this, what topic am I covering? It says, based on the information provided in the meeting transcript, the topic being covered is Otter AI and how it can automatically transcribe conversations. So the way that I would use something like this in a meeting is I have it record my conversations so that I can go back to them. And let me just come down to, I had a conversation. This is the founder of an artificial intelligence company. So over here, you can see on the right side, it's summarized all of the topics that were covered and the timestamps in it. But I could just come over here to the Otter chat and say, Otter, write a thank you email from me to Suman and summarize the main points and actions from today's meeting. End with an invitation to dinner. And hopefully you guys can see what's happening over here, but it should say, thank you for taking the time to meet with me today and demonstrate your AI software. I found our discussion interesting, and it kind of went through the basics, and then it says, yeah, please let me know if you're free this week for dinner. So this is a quick little thing. I'm recording today's conversation. I'm going to put it up there. Wanted to show you this before we get started. One of my favorite tools, and that of my clients as well, it completely revolutionizes their business meetings because they no longer have to sit there and take notes and then remember, what did so-and-so say, and read back or listen to the transcript. So jumping into this part of the conversation. First, raise your hand if you have never logged on to like ChatGPT and used AI in your life, and this is, all right, great. Raise your hand if you use AI kind of on a daily or weekly basis in your life or business, ChatGPT. Okay, great. Fairly balanced. Raise your hand if you own a business, by the way. Awesome. Revolutionary. This is going to be great. So really quickly, about me. I am an entrepreneur. I've been a business and marketing consultant and coach for about 10 years. Bought, sold businesses, and then about 2 years ago, I started to really play with artificial intelligence in my business and really kind of understanding how to work it. The tools were a little bit rudimentary at the time, but about a year ago, I think it was November 30th, I think I remember because I still have my jaw is still sore from playing with ChatGPT, which I'm going to show you in a second, for 30 seconds, and then it immediately slammed down on the table, and I said, the world just changed. I believe that this is the most transformational technology that humans have invented in a long time, and we are at the absolute birth of it. It is going to transform our world both for good and for bad. Just like social media. There's great ways to keep in contact with people on social media, and it's also responsible for a lot of the BS we're dealing with today. But with AI, if you embrace it and understand that it's also a shiny object that we cannot afford to ignore, that we have to have at least a base understanding of it, not only will we avoid getting run over, but we'll be able to really augment our abilities to be more human and to be less robotic. We're going to let the robots be robotic. I'm also the owner of 2 RETA deals in Portugal, so I'm one of y'all. Recently, last month in Florida, this big resort brought me in to teach their managers and executives how to use artificial intelligence in their work. And just how do we be more innovative? How do we save time? How do we be more productive and creative at the same time? So this was me teaching this group. And what I loved about it is about 10% of the people had ever played with AI before that. And then I just got an email about a week ago, and this was from them. This is kind of an update of all the departments and how they're using it. So in housekeeping, Micah is using it extensively to write emails and hiring staff based on suggestions, reformatting reports. Jennifer is using it regularly from writing emails. AI has improved open rates on emails by 40% and click-through rates by 25%. So all of these people are sharing with me. These were non-techie, no AI experience, and they've already said it's starting to revolutionize their life. One woman told me that it's saving her 1 week a month of stuff that she used to work on. She goes, I'm able to get it done in an hour. That being said, what can AI do? Let's have a little bit of fun. I just showed you Otter.
Hi, this is Brad Costanzo, or is it? The truth is, I never recorded the video you're watching right now, and I've never spoken these words. The real Brad is typing these words on his computer and using the AI avatar from HeyGen to create the video you see here. Is it perfect? No, not yet. But this technology is new and getting better every day.
Not bad, right? I trained this. There's an app called HeyGen, H-E-Y-G-E-N. This is in my home office. I recorded a quick video the other day of just me talking for about 2 minutes so it could learn my voice and mannerisms. And then about 2 nights ago, I went on there and I typed out the words and I said, produce this video, and it did. Raise your hands if you speak Spanish. My hand is not raised.
No hablo español. Sé que parece que sí, pero en realidad uso IA para grabar este video en inglés y luego lo subo a HeyGen, una herramienta de...
Now notice, the lips, the voice, perfectly synced. This was the original of what I did.
Hi, my name is Brad Costanzo, and I don't speak Spanish. I know it looks like I do, but I'm actually using artificial intelligence to record this video in English, and then I upload it to HeyGen, which is...
So one of the use cases of this, I do a lot of work in marketing and business, and there's a lot of publishers that I work with, and they love the fact that they can now open up brand new markets with their advertising and their products, and they can start to serve an entirely new market where oftentimes it's much less expensive to go into. So if I had a product that I was trying to sell into the Spanish market, I wouldn't have to hire a Spanish actor. I could just do it myself and do it nearly perfectly. And once more, that just opens up a tremendous amount of opportunity. I've also got a podcast, featured Ronan on the podcast about 1.5 years ago after I joined RETA. It's like, this is amazing, I need to know more. But this is a tool from 11 Labs, it's called, which does speech synthesis. Very similar to what you did, but I just did my voice. So as a test, I was like, well, what if I wanted to do a podcast without actually recording anything? So I typed in some words, and it was trained on my voice. What I want you to listen to is the nuance in the voice. It's not robotic. It's not perfect, but it's not robotic.
Hey there, listeners. It's Brad Costanzo, and today we're diving into a topic that's sizzling hot right now, the fascinating world of AI, or artificial intelligence. Like many of you, I remember the first time I saw ChatGPT.
So that is some of the ways that artificial intelligence is evolving past just text. And I'm going to show you a lot of ChatGPT and really the most popular AI tool out there right now. But I want you to think about in your daily life, this is a little bit more business-oriented than personal-oriented. There's a lot of things you can do with your personal life, from planning trips to researching to writing love notes to your wives, fellas who aren't as poetic. But it can help you research, brainstorm, strategize, plan, summarize articles and books that you don't understand, help you recreate topics in your own voice. Write, script videos, do art, multimedia like you just saw, analyze documents, spreadsheets. It can be your new data scientist. I will show you an example. Communicate with people, and even coach you how to communicate better with your team, your employees, your spouse, and more. But what I love about it is that AI eliminates creative resistance. A lot of us are much more creative than we give ourselves credit for. We've got books and ideas and concepts in our minds, but sometimes we just get blocked because we don't know how to get it from our minds to the paper. Now this starts to eliminate it by using what I call the 10-80-10 rule. So a lot of us have heard of the 80-20 rule. This is 10-80-10, meaning the first 10%, I set the vision. What do I want? And in the past, I would hire an assistant or an employee to say, okay, this is what I want to create this, you go do it, and then I'll come in and do quality control on it. But now with AI, I can do the first 10%, I can delegate the creative work or the heavy lifting to artificial intelligence, then I can come back and add more human elements on this. And I become more of an editor than a creator, but I become a co-creator with artificial intelligence. Quick reference, this is a website. It's got a million, actually a couple thousand, artificial intelligence tools if you ever want to go play and just see what's available. But beware of what I call toolphoria. It is overwhelming. There's 10 new tools a day. You don't necessarily need to have all these tools. You can do a lot with some of the free and basic ones. So right now, let's go into ChatGPT. This is ChatGPT. This is the interface. It's a chat bot. I just talked to it. This is what's called a prompt. I just bought a condo in Lagos, Portugal. I live in the USA, plan on using it for short-term rental income, appreciation, lifestyle, etc. But I know very little about Lagos, its history, culture. I'm 49 years old, I'm very active. My wife is younger. I didn't say how old she is because she's right here and she'll get mad at me. And also active. Your job is to create a fun, engaging report that gives me all the information I need to feel really comfortable about my decision. So it starts to say, all right, well, here you go. I can certainly provide that. Here's history, culture, living nuances, tourist sites, restaurants. Yes, I can go to Google for this, but more importantly is I can tell it exactly what I want and it goes out and it brings it back to me exactly how I need it. This is one microscopic example that I think everybody here could probably use. Here's another one. This is how ChatGPT can analyze data and numbers. So when I bought Santa Maria over in Lagos, Portugal, I received a financial projections, and I think all of you guys have probably seen some of this, especially if you own a property. What's the rent rates? What are our assumptions? How much can we make? So I uploaded it to ChatGPT, and I just said, tell me what you think this is. Here's one of the most important parts about ChatGPT and AI in general. It's a whole new technology, but it's using the language that we use, plain old English, or whatever language you want to speak to it in. So I don't have to be smart or technical. So it says, it appears you've uploaded this document based on the title. It's likely to contain financial projections of a Santa Maria Phase 1 area. I was like, yeah, that's right. So then it pulls out some snippets of it. I'm like, great. It's telling me what it knows. Now, I start to play with it. I said, if the assumptions are true, what's the approximate cash-on-cash return of this property, assuming a $500,000 price with 20% down payment and the remainder financed? And it starts to tell me how we can calculate it, and then it calculates it. Like, all right, that's interesting. That helps me. I don't have to pull out my calculator. I said, act like a real estate investor who analyzes good investments like this. Tell me some of the variables on this page that I should question or be careful with in order to reduce the risk in the property. It says, well, as a real estate investor scrutinizing property for investment, it's important to look at these various things. Operating expenses, occupancy rates, additional costs, et cetera. And I went on to say, look, I'm going to skip ahead because it assumed a 5% appreciation rate every year and a 10% on completion. And I said, well, now assume a 6% appreciation rate instead of 5% and change the 10% jump to 11%, then tell me the estimated property value at the end of year 5 with this new data. It says, well, with an 11% completion, like it basically does the math for me. But it does it without me having to be technical or even good with a calculator. I just tell it what I want, and it gives it to me. Accuracy sometimes is off. You have to understand that. But sometimes, most of the time, it's spot on. But yes, so it can create content. It can create songs and poems and creative work and marketing material. But it can also analyze data. Now, one of the other uses. I know we have some real estate developers in here, and we have a lot of customers of real estate developers. But I just said list 10 unique and effective ways that a real estate developer could use generative artificial intelligence and workflows in their business to increase productivity. So it tells me, it actually does it down here. Automated design generation, and then it starts to give me description, implementation, like how to do it, productivity impact, challenges you might face, predictive market analysis, virtual property tours, automated workflow management, cost estimation, AI-driven property. Like, it just gives a lot. Then this is an important piece. Number 4 was automated workflow management. ChatGPT understands context. So I just said on number 4, create a standard operating procedure of how to do this. Give me links to any relevant tools. So it comes down here and it starts to say assessment and planning, tool selection, customization, integration, training, etc. I just did these like a couple days ago for you for an example. You can get in here and play with it. In fact, I want to do this right now. Who owns a business in here and is willing to just shout out what that business is? What do you do?
Plumbing business.
Plumbing business, okay. How can a plumbing business use ChatGPT and AI to be more productive and profitable? This is a very basic prompt, but let's just see what it has to say. Assuming a live demo does not say, nah, I don't feel like working today. It's actually working okay. Let's just see. Live demos are fun. This is why I did a lot of pre-made demos, just because you never quite know. ChatGPT is amazing at writing content, but it's not always amazing at writing content in your style. So the other day, I went in here and I grabbed Ronan's brilliantly written recent Panama deal of how he phrased all this. And I put it in here. I said, analyze the writing and then give me a style guide for how Ronan writes. And then I said, okay, great. Now give me the wireframe copy structure. How does he write this? And I said, okay, great. I said, let's test how well you can recreate this and use the style guide and framework to do a fictional property called the Grand RETA and change the location to Playa del Carmen. And I told it how to do it. So it starts to write. Now it is not in the editors and Ronan's beautiful prose perfectly, but it starts to write this out. And then I told it, now I want you to recommend images to make it even better. And then basically I came over here and I created. So is it perfect? No, but it's pretty damn cool. All right. Who here would like to consume 30 hours of content in about 30 minutes? All right. Learning is fun, folks. So what I do is I go to YouTube, and there's a great tool called chattube.io, or you can use ChatGPT. And I put the YouTube video in, and I said, give me an executive summary of this video, create a list of all the important bullet points, and create a very basic summary of it. So here's an example. On my podcast, I recently interviewed people who are option traders, and I wanted to say, how does this work? ChatTube is a little plug-in to YouTube, and it started to give me a summary over here of everything. But then I copied and pasted it into this so you could see it. So this is an hour-long video. It gave me a summary. It gave me the bullet points of everything that was covered. And then it gave me a standard operating procedure in order to get the best out of this. And then I said, once more, this is stock option trading. And I said, give me an example of this method using a hypothetical stock of like Disney. And it takes what they said in the video and it breaks it down into multiple scenarios and gives me a trading strategy from it. That would have taken 2 minutes to create, by the way. So, action, if there's something you want to learn, go to YouTube, ask ChatGPT or ChatTube or any of the other tools, summarize this for me. Give me the bullet points. I don't have time to sit through a 2-hour-long video. Anybody want to see how to create a new business and get nearly all your marketing content generated using copy-paste 27 prompts? So if you're starting a new business, there's a lot of things you have to come up with, right? Product name, tagline, description, benefits, all of this stuff. Well, what if there was a way, which there is, to come in here and say, where is this business builder? So I just said, act as a business expert, complete the following prompts. And what's a product idea? Sneakers with AI sensors. And then the instructions are, here's 27 things that I need. So it starts to create it. Sneaker Sense Pro, step into the future, your ultimate sneaker companion with AI magic, product description, 3 benefits, 5 social media posts, 5 email subject lines, a product review, a call to action, comparison between this and other products, a TV script, you name it. There's this many things in about I'm literally less than 60 seconds. It's copy, paste, done. Now, it's not done, it's expand upon this. I would go in this, and if I wanted to run a business based upon this, I would just refine it a little bit more. The bottom line is that AI is a creative partner. It never runs out of ideas. Do you want to brainstorm with it? How can I do this? You can let it be your teacher and your assistant, and then your critic. So oftentimes I will say, I want to create a sales email or business development email to generate business for X. And it'll, like, what is the best framework to do that? It'll say, well, this is how you should write it. I'll go, great, write it. And I'll say, yes, sir. And it writes it. Then I say, how could you make this better? And it'll say, well, here's how I would make it better. And I was like, all right, do it. And it'll do it. And it's just like this virtuous circle of refining and refining until it gets down to where I come in and I sprinkle the last 10% on it. It's your creative muse. It never gets tired. It's always on. It'll take your most demanding requests and not take them personal. I have used many four-letter words with it when it doesn't give me what I want. So I am, yes, a little afraid that when the robots take over, they're going to remember how I talk to them. It can also finish a project faster. You can delegate to a human. Once more, it is the shiny object you cannot afford to ignore.
What should my college kid change his major to in order to not be unemployed after
I will tell you, prompt engineer. So a prompt engineer is somebody who fully understands how to prompt AI. It is one of the most in-demand jobs right now. I've seen like $300,000 starting as a prompt engineer. And you cannot get a degree in prompt engineering. I think Netflix came out with a prompt engineer at $900,000. And it's learning how to talk to ChatGPT kind of the way I was. Yes, I may be applying for one of those roles at some point. But here's what you need to do. Play. Familiar. It rewards curiosity and creativity. You do not need to learn a technical language at all. It's English. Create, iterate, try, fail again. If you don't get what you want, try again. Immerse yourself in it or truly become a dinosaur. This is the way it's going. If you have a business, get a chief AI officer or become one yourself, or build or hire an innovation team in your business. It will make a dramatic difference. I know because this is what I'm doing for people, and the amount of time, energy, and profitability we're getting from this is really changing lives, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. Hopefully this was not too overwhelming, but a little inspiring on what you guys can do.